Your mind does not lose focus because it is weak. It loses focus because it sees too much at once and refuses to ignore what others overlook. They told you to calm down. They told you to simplify. They never told you how to aim the storm. There is a moment you remember clearly, sitting still, staring ahead, while everything inside you moved at speed. Thoughts stacking, images flashing, outcomes forming before questions finished. Someone called your name. You snapped back. They called it distraction. It was power without direction. Overthinking feels like chaos only when it has no target. Left unchecked, it burns energy, fractures confidence, and feeds shame. But when aimed, it becomes something rare. It becomes laser focus. There is a childhood flashback, a quiet corner. Hours disappear. One task absorbs you completely. Sound fades. Time dissolves. Hyperfocus locks in. You finish something cleanly. Adults stare in disbelief. That version of you never vanished. It only waits for alignment. ADHD minds are not unfocused. They are omnidirectional. Every input matters. Every signal registers. Tone, timing, emotion, risk, possibility. Your brain does not skim life. It scans it. The problem was never overthinking. The problem was thinking without aim. There was a silent night, curtains barely moving, streetlight bleeding through the room. You lay awake, thoughts racing, replaying everything unfinished. You hated that feeling. You thought it meant failure. It meant unresolved energy. Your mind was searching for completion. This is where betrayal began. You betrayed your own process by forcing stillness instead of building structure. You rushed decisions to look normal. You ignored intuition to avoid standing out. Each time, regret followed. There is a memory of choosing fast instead of right. Pressure pushed you. You agreed. Later, consequences arrived exactly as you predicted. That was not anxiety. That was foresight, ignored. You internalized the wrong lesson. You thought you needed less thought. You needed sharper thought. The psychological break came quietly. Burnout, numbness, loss of interest. Your mind went silent, not from peace, but overload. The storm shut itself down to survive. That emptiness scared you more than noise. In the quiet, a realization surfaced. What if focus was not about reducing thought? What if it was about compressing it? This is where rebuilding starts. The first transformation is permission. You stop calling yourself broken. You stop apologizing for depth. You accept the truth. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are built different. There is a flashback of writing everything down for the first time. Pages filled quickly. The noise moved from your head into structure. Breathing slowed. Control returned. That was focus beginning. Laser focus does not eliminate thoughts. It funnels them. Strategy 1 is capture. Every thought has a place to go. Paper, notes, voice. When your mind trusts that nothing will be lost, it stops shouting. There is a night where sleep came easily after capture, not because thinking stopped, but because it was contained. Strategy 2 is selection. Not every thought deserves depth. You ask one question before engaging. Does this move me forward or keep me busy? Busy thoughts feel urgent. Focused thoughts feel heavy. There is a moment you remember deleting a note, closing a tab, letting an idea rest. Energy returned immediately. That was discipline. Strategy 3 is compression. You set a single objective, one outcome, one problem. All thought energy collapses toward it. There is a memory of working with intensity and clarity you had not felt before. Hours passed. Output was clean. Exhaustion did not follow. Storm imagery shifts here. The hurricane becomes a lightning strike. Short, precise, devastating. People misread this change. They think you suddenly became disciplined. They do not see the years of chaos refined into control. Underestimation continues. Silence looks like hesitation. Pauses look like doubt. You allow it. Assumptions create cover. There is a flashback of entering a room with noise everywhere. Opinions clashing. You waited. When you spoke, the room aligned. That was focus deployed. Your emotional intensity sharpens instead of sabotaging. Empathy informs strategy. Sensitivity becomes radar. There is a lonely walk you remember. Cold air, steady steps, thoughts aligning naturally. Focus arrived without force. That was alignment. Comparison fades. Speed loses appeal. Accuracy becomes priority. Laser focus does not feel frantic. It feels calm, heavy, intentional. This part ends with pressure building. You have learned that focus is not absence of thought. It is dominance over it. The storm listens now. The next phase will demand discipline under resistance. Noise will return. Doubt will test you. Hold steady. The beam is forming. Discipline is where laser focus survives contact with reality. Without it, clarity collapses the moment pressure returns. This is where most people lose what they briefly touch. You do not. Your mind still produces volume. The difference now is containment. Thoughts line up instead of colliding. You decide where they land. There is a memory of sitting down to work with one clear target written in front of you. No multitasking, no escape. The urge to drift appeared, then faded. Focus held, because direction was visible. That was discipline asserting itself. Laser focus is not motivation. Motivation burns fast. Discipline holds shape when emotion fluctuates. There is a flashback of a night you chose rest instead of forcing progress. Guilt rose. You stayed with it. The next morning, focus arrived sharper than before. That was trust in process. Your overthinking learns boundaries. Time blocks, clear starts, clear ends. The mind relaxes when it knows when to work and when to release. There is a symbolic scene of a forge, fire controlled, metal steady. You shape without rushing. Precision replaces brute force. Underestimation returns here. Others see you working slowly and assume weakness. They do not see the depth of concentration behind the stillness. There is a meeting you recall. Others spoke fast. Ideas scattered. You listened. When confusion peaked, you spoke once. The solution landed cleanly. That was focus under pressure. Emotional intensity stabilizes further. Feelings no longer hijack momentum. You feel them, note them, then return to task. There is a memory of receiving criticism that once would have derailed you. This time, you extracted information and continued. Focus held. Hyperfocus becomes intentional. You enter it deliberately. You exit cleanly. No more crash cycles. There is a childhood flashback of losing hours inside something meaningful. That state returns now without chaos. You choose the moment. Time blindness still exists. You design around it. Alarms, breaks, recovery windows. Discipline protects focus from exhaustion. There is a night you stopped early because discipline said enough. The next day, output doubled. Restraint proved powerful. Comparison dissolves further. You stop chasing others' pace. Their speed hides fragility. Your focus builds durability. Laser focus sharpens creativity. Ideas arrive clearer. Connections feel inevitable. Execution follows naturally. There is a moment of completing something important. Silence followed. No adrenaline, just weight. That weight was authority. Storm imagery tightens. Lightning strikes exactly where aimed. No wasted energy. No collateral damage. You begin to recognize distraction before it pulls you. You redirect without anger. Calm correction replaces self-attack. There is a lonely walk you remember after a long focused day. Body tired, mind clear, satisfaction quiet. That balance matters. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You were built different. Different minds require different discipline. You stopped copying others. You built your own structure. Focus now survives noise. Notifications lose power. Urgency loses control. You choose when to engage. There is a memory of ignoring a message until your block finished. The world did not end. Your work improved. Confidence grew. Discipline transforms overthinking into a controlled beam. Without discipline, focus flickers. With it, focus cuts. This phase feels less dramatic. That is a sign of mastery. You no longer need intensity to feel productive. Consistency replaces chaos. Pressure increases again. The final phase will demand application in environments designed to break focus. Conflict, uncertainty, takes. Laser focus will be tested. You will not lose it. You built it deliberately. Hold steady. The beam sharpens. Authority is quiet. It does not announce itself. It settles into posture, timing, restraint. This is where laser focus stops being a technique and becomes identity. You move through noise untouched because your mind now answers to intention, not impulse, urgency, fear, or distraction. Power settles quietly inside disciplined awareness alone. There is a vision of standing still as pressure rises around you. Voices escalate, deadlines close in. You remain centered, breathing steady, eyes clear. Movement is deliberate. That stillness is dominance, learned through repetition, failure and restraint, not talent or luck, earned through patience, under relentless internal storms alone again. Your overthinking now functions like precision optics, narrowing vast input into a single actionable point. You sense instability early, adjust positioning, and conserve energy. Others react late. You already moved. This is not arrogance. It is trained perception, sharpened under pressure, built slowly through painful lessons and disciplined silence daily. There is a memory of chaos returning unexpectedly, the kind that once shattered progress. This time, focus holds. You choose silence over reaction. You choose action over explanation. The environment bends subtly. Authority reveals itself through outcomes, not volume or force, earned quietly by consistency when nobody applauds or notices. Laser focus integrates emotion instead of suppressing it. Feelings become signals, not commands. You acknowledge them, extract meaning, then return to task. Emotional intelligence stabilizes execution. Sensitivity becomes radar. Empathy becomes leverage. You act precisely without emotional collapse or denial. Because awareness now supports direction under sustained pressure, consistently always. There is a symbolic scene of a blade resting after forging, heat fading, edge intact. The work is done. Movement becomes efficient. Nothing wasted. Your focus cuts cleanly because it no longer doubts itself. Doubt once scattered energy. Certainty now concentrates it. Through alignment, discipline, trust, patience, repetition alone, enduring, underestimation persists, but it no longer wounds. It protects you. People reveal intentions freely around those they misjudge. You observe quietly, adjust positioning, and advance without resistance. Camouflage becomes strategy. Silence becomes shield. Timing becomes reputation built slowly, through results earned privately, without explanation, spectacle, or permission from anyone else. There is a final internal test when exhaustion returns unexpectedly. Old habits whisper. You pause, reset structure, and continue calmly. Focus holds because identity changed. You no longer chase intensity. You protect energy. Consistency replaces urgency. Stability replaces chaos. Permanently through discipline, designed specifically for your mind alone, respected, maintained. You recognize leadership as containment, holding complexity without collapse. Others feel safe around clarity. Decisions stabilize. Momentum builds. You speak less. Results expand. This is the quiet authority of focused minds who mastered storms instead of fearing them through disciplined patience, experience, repeated self-command, earned slowly over years alone. There is a dawn image where light spreads evenly after long darkness. No drama, no rush, just inevitability. You rise steady, clear, prepared. Focus remains intact because it belongs to you now. The storm obeys. The beam stays aimed under disciplined command, forged through intentional daily practice, alone, calmly, relentlessly. Subscribe for more.